I'm Wade Hanson with Remax Results, and this is your Q4 2025 real estate market update. Well, the word I've been using throughout 2025 is uncertainty. And as we head into the final stretch of the year, that continues to be the general vibe in the local real estate market. For the most part, the market has actually shifted. Generally speaking, buyers now have more inventory to choose from, and therefore buyers feel that they have more power and more control throughout negotiations. We're about to enter the slower season in our housing market, which means more deals for buyers, and sellers better get serious if they want to sell before the end of the year. We're in the midst of what I call a market stabilization. Locally, in some areas, the prices are softening, while in other areas, prices are actually still slowly rising. Buyers are waiting for the market to crash, and sellers are waiting for the market to be like 2021 again. It's actually become a standoff. Believe it or not, due to the uncertainty of the market, the uncertainty of the economy, and I think just the general vibe in the real estate market, over 25% of real estate contracts are falling apart. And of those, 70% are canceled due to inspection. Now in Minnesota, an inspection is nothing more than a cold feet clause. You can walk away for any reason during your inspection contingency. So I think buyers are using their inspection contingency to really get comfortable with their purchase beyond what they might find in the inspection. And as they start to gather numbers, maybe what it might cost to repair the home, insurance costs, taxes, and those types of things, buyers are just getting cold feet. I recently had a deal fall apart, $1 million deal over $7,000. Believe it or not, these buyers were in love with the home, and as they had time to think about things, they walked away over $7,000, and that property is still on the market. Housing inventory locally is actually up 15% compared to 2024. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I think that's a good thing. That's giving buyers more options, and it's starting to balance the market a little bit. Home prices are still continuing to rise, generally speaking. Overall, in the Twin Cities metro, we're seeing about a 3% appreciation year over year, 25 versus 24. Our average days on market has almost doubled the last 2 years. We're close to 50 days on the market. 25% of the buyers are still waiving the home inspection, which I don't think that's necessary in most markets. There's a small segment of the market where you may need to waive a home inspection in order to secure a home. But for the most part, the expectation is that a buyer is going to have a home inspection contingency. Only about 15% of the transactions are now cash. If you back up 5 years ago during COVID, we were close to 50% of the transactions were cash. So we're seeing more financing and less of the, investor product out there right now. Believe it or not, sellers are contributing to buyers' closing costs 45% of the time. That means they're either paying some of their lender's closing costs, buying points, or they're paying a commission for the buyer's agent. 8% of the sellers are accepting contingent offers. That means less than 10% of sellers are willing to accept an offer contingent upon the buyer selling their home. And only 6% of sales are happening pre-MLS. Now, there's a few real estate companies out there that are touting that they've got an internal database of buyers that can buy your home prior to it going to the market. Believe it or not, that's only happening 6% of the time. So the sellers that are having success in the current market are those sellers that are willing to go to the open market. I actually love this market. It's exposing agents that don't have the experience and expertise to perform when the market presents challenges. And it's also separating the real sellers from the dreamers. If you're on the market just trying to get a certain price because your neighbor got that price 2 or 3 years ago, buyers are just overlooking those properties and moving on to something else. So you often hear me say who you work with matters. It isn't just a catchphrase. There's actually data that supports that. And one of the things I dislike most about my business is we actually have to get into the business of self-promotion. And what I want to do is just go through some data points this year that really proves that we have really started to separate the experts from the part-time agents. So locally, Washington County data right now, the average sale price for all realtors in Washington County is just shy of $500,000. Personally, my listings have sold for just over $1 million. So my sales are 2 times that of the average agent. The average purchase price to list price in Washington County is 98.5% of the actual list price. Year to date, my sellers are getting 102% of their list price. So I'm getting 3.5% more than all other agents in Washington County. The average days on market for all agents in Washington County is 45 days. My sellers are averaging 33 days on the market. That's nearly 2 weeks less than anybody else in the marketplace. Now, why is this? My 26 years of experience has put me through every situation, every market condition, every negotiation tactic, everything you can possibly think of. I've been there, I've done that, I've got the experience, and my sellers are capitalizing on that in this market. My experience and my expertise right now is really separating me from those agents that have gotten licensed in the last 5 years. And statistically, over 50% of the agents that are currently active in the real estate business have been licensed in the last 7 to 10 years. So it's truly important that you really interview your agent, understand who you're working with. We are not all the same, and ask for some of this data, because the data will tell you who is succeeding in these challenging times. So what should we expect in 2026? Well, if I knew the answer to that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about what to expect in 2026. I think there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty, as I've mentioned before. But most of the trusted economists are saying we're going to see about a 3 to 5% home appreciation next year. And again, we're getting back into some normal times. And as I mentioned before, this is a market I've seen before. This is a normal market. Having the home on the market for 60 days is a very normal thing. There's still affordability constraints for first-time home buyers, high insurance costs, higher interest rates, higher taxes, higher costs to actually improve a home. It's going to continue to affect first-time home buyers, and that market is going to continue to maybe struggle a little bit unless we see interest rates come down. I think there's going to be strong regional differences, not only across the U.S. like we've seen this year, but also locally in the Twin Cities. I think there's going to be some markets that will struggle, and maybe some cities and some even neighborhoods that will have a lot of success in 2026. Will rates come down in 2026? Maybe. That remains to be seen. I think all indications are that the Fed has kind of given in, and they will slowly start to roll out interest rate improvements. Will it get into the 5s next year? Perhaps it will. Maybe it won't. At the end of the day, if you're a buyer, a 1/4 point interest rate shouldn't influence your decision on whether or not you want to buy. If the time is right for you to buy, buy. If it's not, don't. Don't let the interest rates or the thought of interest rates going down over the next year or two move the needle for you. Because if interest rates go down, there's a possibility that home prices will go up so much that your payment will be about the same. So at the end of the day, I expect 2026 to be a lot like 25. It's still going to be uncertain. It's going to be competitive in some areas and soft in others. And it's going to be important that you align yourself with a good, experienced local real estate professional that can help you navigate the area you're selling in or the area you're buying in. So what should sellers do to prepare for 2026? Well, number one, price your home competitively. Buyers look past overpriced homes, and they don't even consider those as real sellers. So really make sure that your agent understands the local market and how to accurately price your home. You should partner with a good local agent that can help guide you through cost-effective improvements. Meeting with somebody 4th quarter of 2025 to prepare your home for 2026 is one of the best things you can do. And making sure that this person has the resources of a handyman, carpet installers, so on and so forth that can help you prepare your home for the market. And they're not just trying to make their job easier. They're actually giving you at least a dollar for dollar return on what you're putting into your home. As a seller, be very strategic about your timing in 2026. The one thing we saw in 2025 was a severe drop-off in buyer activity right around mid-May to first part of June. I had many sellers that were prepping their homes for the market, and they just simply took too long and they missed the market, and those homes just simply didn't sell or sold for less money because they missed out on that window of opportunity. Now that window of opportunity might be February 15th, might be March 15th. We don't know when the market will hit spring of 2026. But if you're prepared and if you're working with an agent that can reach out to you and say, hey, the activity's high, the supply in your neighborhood is really low, now may be a good time for you to hit the market, you can actually get anywhere from 3 to 5% more for your home by timing the market in the spring of 2026. As a buyer, what should you do to prepare for 2026? Well, number one, sit down right now with a good lender and really clearly understand what your maximum monthly payment looks like. A lot has changed around insurance costs, taxes, And as interest rates have kind of been up and down, it's important for you to know exactly where you stand and where your max comfort level is when it comes to a monthly payment so you can act quickly. Work with a good local realtor that understands the market you're looking in and may also have some off-market opportunities for you. I have many sellers right now that I'm working with that will come to the market in the spring. However, if a buyer comes to me and is looking for that type of property, while they're not on the market, there might be an opportunity for that buyer to secure property off market and for that seller to get a price that they're looking for in terms they're looking for without actually having to go to the open market. And as a buyer, I think you're going to need to be prepared to move quickly in spring of 2026. I do think that activity will get stronger as rates, in my opinion, will go down slightly. And I think that when those opportunities come along, you need to be ready to move quickly, but be strategic. Make sure your agent understands that market you're looking in, because some markets are going to go into multiple offers and other markets are going to have opportunities and room for negotiations. So there's going to be a real, I think, as I mentioned before, regional difference and even neighborhood difference in some local markets as to what product and what neighborhoods are selling for more than asking price and where there's opportunity for you to negotiate a better deal. So if you're looking to sell sometime in the next 6 months, give me a call. We can sit down and have a confidential conversation about the current market conditions and whether now is a good time to sell or whether waiting till after the first of the year might be the best time to sell. I'm not an agent that's going to tell you now is a great time to sell just to get another listing on the market. I want you to maximize your home's value, and that might mean waiting a few months so that we can time the market where the buyer demand is high and the listing inventory is low. So if you're a buyer in 2026, reach out to me. We can sit down and have a conversation. There might be some opportunities for you to purchase a home at a discounted price this time of year when the market's maybe a little bit softer. And I might have some off-market opportunities for you that might fit your needs. And if you don't know where to start, I can get you connected with a good lender. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.